The organization is over 100 years old. We're not. Paul just told me earlier he's going to the 30th reunion. I think I left ISEC about 17 years ago or something. So he's always been my alumni. I've always, kind of looked up. And for us, organizations like ISEC, we do care about systems change, about being business people, but also creating a mark in the world, and often pioneers. And for me, Paul has always held the spirit from having watched from a distance, because remember, he was my alumni. I couldn't always just come close. So from his time in SOS to, for me, the most exciting moments, and I think he'll be speaking about Toolshare, was just around makerspaces. Who's heard of a makerspace or a Fab Lab? Guys. Now, like I said to you earlier on, it was ahead of its time, but it's basically a space where you make stuff. Like, I won't go into detail, because I think Paul will be sharing some of that, but it's far more known around the world and across the continent now. And for me, Toolshare was one of the most exciting things, because I've experienced some of this work, especially when I spent some time in the States. And yeah, I look forward to hearing your story, and thank you, and I'm so glad that we can interact as peers now.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Paul, and I'm a failure. I used to only fail in the evenings, but then I started failing during lunchtime. Sometimes I even used to fail at breakfast. When Leslie asked me to speak tonight, I got a bit scared actually, because I had to choose between which failure to talk about, which is a bit worrying, but I decided to go with the one that you mentioned, which is Toolshare Studio. It's a business that I started with two other people. There were three of us who started it. And basically it was modeled on a business in the States called Tech Shop, which was essentially a makerspace where people could come and use all the tools and equipment, we had AutoCAD and a whole lot of fancy things that you could make stuff with. And the real aim was there were two aims. The main one was to support SME development by providing training in technical skills in woodwork, carpentry, metalwork, arts and crafts, sewing, and computer design, and then some basic business skills. And the real difference between other types of business training organizations was that you could actually use the space to make products. So you could come there and use the space for like an afternoon or a week or something to make a prototype without having to set up your whole factory. You could also then use the space as a production facility to make your products. And also then big corporates could earn enterprise development points by sending people to come and get training there or to use the space. And then the other component, which was sort of a subsidiary to that, was for individuals to come and basically free up their creative spirits and to turn their ideas into reality. So, like Pinterest, that website where you see all this cool stuff and you're like, oh, I want that, and you could actually come and make it. So the whole idea was that you could come in, you could use all the tools to make things, we'd help you design it, we'd help you make it. But what actually ended up happening a lot of time is that people would come in and we would have to make it for them. But we also ended up doing a lot of training. A lot of females actually who thought their husbands were a bit useless and lazy. So a lot of them came for training. A lot of people who like book clubs that come and make bookshelves and things like that. So the idea was really awesome, and there are quite a few of these things around the world that are quite successful. I'll tell you why we didn't manage to pull it off. So the first thing was that within 1 week of us opening our doors and signing a 2-year lease, our one partner decided she couldn't handle the whole entrepreneurship thing, and she bailed. And she was the person who was in charge of the whole enterprise development SME side of the business. So essentially 60% of our business walked out the door, and we had literally been open for a week. And the other partner was left and myself. We were more on the consumer side, more about the individuals who wanted to come and make stuff. So kind of right from the beginning, we were on a back foot. So we kind of had to decide, okay, what are we going to carry on? And we thought, yes, let's keep going with the consumer side of the business. And, we had all this great market research. Everyone we spoke to, yeah, it's so cool, I've got so many projects I want to do, I'm going to come and use the space, I'm going to make things. But it turned out that it was like gym. everybody wants to go to gym and look cool, but actually, you never actually get off your lazy ass. So the sort of willingness of people to use the space and the reality were two totally different things. The next issue was that, like I said earlier, we ended up becoming really a furniture factory. People in Joburg are, I was going to say lazy, but let me rather say busy, and they don't have time, maybe they're a bit too white collar to actually make their own stuff. So a lot of people would just end up getting us to make things, and we became a furniture factory basically. I remember just the night before we decided to close the business, I was working till late at night trying to finish some cool product for someone to have in their house. It was like 10 o'clock on a Friday night, and then I had to put my own money into the business to pay the rent at the end of the month. Oh, no way, so this is it. Yeah, so we're supposed to be this cool, like, sort of hipster, happening, cutting-edge place where people would come and do all these cool things. But essentially, it was me and my assistant, and we were just working our backsides off making things for other people. And then the third, so what were the lessons? Obviously, cash flow. Whatever working capital you think you're going to put into business, times it by 3. Whatever your revenue projections are for the first year of the business, divide it by 3. And then plan that you're going to basically lose it all from the outset. Make sure you've got good relations with your parents so you can move back in with them. Start shopping at Checkers. That's where I ended up shopping after this. The next lesson was about, what is it? This is a bit of a cliche, work on your business, not in the business, but it's really true, but it's really hard to achieve. When you're so reliant on doing all the work in your business, and I think Arwen was saying it as well, it's so hard to stay focused on the big picture and to create new partnerships and look for new markets and all of that. So you really got to try and create a business where either other people or technology or systems or processes can actually keep the business going, that you don't have to be the one who's physically in the business all the time. Otherwise, you kind of just end up going around in a hamster wheel and you don't manage to make it into a big, amazing business. And then the next lesson was about getting the fundamental paperwork right. Obviously, everybody hates paperwork, but if a business goes down, it's really nice to have a shareholder agreement, because we're working with partners, and it just helped. I'm now still we have great relations with other partners, because we knew up front when things were still good, how we were going to deal with everything. And the same with having good financial statements. We were so stressed about the lease that we had on the premises and all of the stuff. We literally had a year still to go on the thing. I think about R250,000 left on the lease when we decided to close. And I was like having nightmares about how we're going to deal with it. And if you actually go to your landlord with a set of financial statements, and I was a lot of red at the bottom, fortunately, they kind of understood, and they said it's a hard economy, you're a small business, and they let us out of our lease without having any penalties or anything. It was really amazing. And that's because we had good financials and that sort of thing. And then sort of what personal impact did that have on me? For me, it was my first big sort of venture having come out of formal employment. So it was there were high stakes, It's like the first big thing. Here I am on the scene, having your own clients, all of that stuff, and it failed. So it really took a big toll on me. But at the same time, it was really a bridge to discovering who I was, what my passion was, which I now know. I wish I'd known this 30 years ago. It's kind of design and sustainability and making stuff. I just love making stuff. So that was really cool. That business helped me figure that all out, and that's kind of what I'm doing today in the same line. The next lesson was, I kind of, for some reason, had this weird thing about having a partner, that you're almost like weak or stupid or something if you need somebody else to be with you in your business. But it's like you're saying about personality. I've also got lots of personality issues, and you need the other person who can fight those fights that you can't fight, or that you can just talk to at the end of the day when you've had a really bad day or a really good day or whatever. So I actually now in my new business, kind of anything I do now, I make it a prerequisite actually to have a partner, rather than looking down on partners how I used to. I don't know where I got that stupid idea. And then the last one is about if any of your friends or associates or anything are starting a new business, it's always, you always want to say, give them advice or do whatever, but buy their products, buy their service, help them with their cash flow, actually become a real client of theirs. Don't just say, yeah, good luck with your business and then walk away. And once you actually become a client, you can give them real feedback and say, this was my customer experience, this was how your product was or your service or whatever. And that, I think, is much more useful to them then, and they can then take it on and grow their business. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions for Paul?
Yes.
What are you doing now?
Now I'm a partner in a sustainability business. We do solar and we build sort of outside structures for garden, like offices or studios and stuff, like out of glass and things like this with solar on them. So they're like solar pavilions. And we're starting a new division now called Hoodoo Flora, which is about indigenous gardening and landscaping. So basically, we just do whatever we feel like. It's so cool getting out of a structure. You should just make it up as you go along.
What's the name of that business now?
Sorry, what's the name of the business now?
It's called Hoodoo, H-U-D-U.
Yes, Leslie?
So I saw you a few weeks before you were closing the tool shed, like you told me you were about to close. So my question is, how did you get through the depression of closure and to transition to opening up a new business?
I don't know, you just do this, right? I mean, I think for me the savior was the fact that our landlord let us off, because I had this thing in my mind the whole time that we're still going to have to pay a year's rent for nothing, like literally all this money. And then we kind of, in a way, you're almost like, sure, we saved, like we're not going down as far as it was. So that was quite uplifting. And I don't know, I've still got most of the stuff that we had in the studio, I've still got at home and I still use it. So in some ways it's still going, and the business is actually in my mind on a day-to-day basis. We use this, a lot of the concepts and ideas and things still today. So I think that helped get through.
Yeah.
Did you charge those customers because the idea was obviously to empower them, but we ended up making the stuff for them. Did you charge them? Did they actually pay you?
So the funniest thing about our furniture customers, for example, they would come in, they'd get something off the internet, this amazing like wall cabinet or something, and then they wanted in this particular wood with this particular design to fit their particular space. So it's fully bespoke, you've got to sit there, design it, and then they want it cheaper than Mr. Price. And you're like, what? So like most of the time we are quoting, and then the people don't accept it when it's a perfect thing made for their house, that kind of thing. But the other space, the like bench space, and that people would pay by the hour if they wanted to come and use the facilities. And then small businesses either had sponsors in their big corporates, if they were suppliers, they would pay for them. Or sometimes we just like people and we just let them use it.
Because I mean, you obviously made a lot more money, or you gained a lot more customers from people actually wanting you to do the work. So are you still offering that as a consultant?
Not the making stuff, not the furniture making stuff. No, I'm never going to make anything for anyone ever.
Any more questions? Yeah?
When you say,
Can you speak down?
so when you say work on your business, not in your business, what specifically do you, like, can you give an example of working on your business?
So, for example, we ended up really with one target market, one segment of the market, which was the individual who wanted to express their creativity making something. But there was a whole range of other places where we could have got clients and business. Like Boulder's Warehouse, for example. I don't know if you've ever been there. Their staff are so bad. So I also shouldn't name them. But there are lots of companies who are in the sort of... there are lots of people in the making trade, whatever, who could get training and skills development. So we needed to explore that whole market. There was schools, there was kids, so many kids. Like a lot of schools now don't have woodwork as a subject. So we could have explored that and got kids to come and make stuff and get creative and all of that. And we just didn't have the capacity to grow across different sectors.
Sorry, there's a company called...
Speak up.
there's a company called Get Todd, where Todd stands for Task on Demand, which is, one of another Uber for X type thing, Uber for tasks, or just having a resource on demand. And the problem with that is with Uber, you know a driver can drive because he's got a license, but for
Does that mean he can drive?
well, the assumption is that you can, but there's no license to be to put tiles in. It's sort of reputation type thing. And the problem with that is that there's no real official someone to train at someone and give something back. And then while you were talking, I was thinking about this country because they're primarily in Cape Town, but they're looking to expand, and they're still not something like that. Because when I tried to get someone to help me build something, it's sort of reputation and stuff like that. So it's very interesting that happened, because I think that's another opportunity that's still out there.
Yeah, I think that the whole trades in South Africa are so bad that there's so much opportunity to get in like that in many different ways.
Yeah, what question is?
So Paul, have you maybe thought that you didn't really fail, but that what failed was just the warehouse? Trying to take your idea and putting it into one space, because you're still doing what you're doing. That hasn't ended. The only thing where you had a loss is trying to confine it to the space.
Yeah, that was, we had endless debates about that. Are we going to go mobile? Are we going to move around? Whatever. But personally, I think you're right. Yeah, I've kind of moved with the business, with me personally. The other business partners, not so much. They sort of doing totally other things now.
We've got time for one more question. Well, maybe two. Yeah.
So do you think that your business was more, for lack of a better word,